USMLE Step 1 resources. Let's get into this juicy part. But before that, disclaimer, none of the material that I mentioned in this video are sponsored. There is not a sponsorship of any of this material. First aid. A lot of people call first aid like the Bible, the only one and only. So first aid is really famous. As soon as you decide to study for this exam, first aid it's a book that is always gonna pop up in all the conversations. But what is first aid? So first aid is a huge book, have like 700 pages. I mean, it's have like 700 pages or so, and have the entire USMLE Step 1 curriculum or material that is going to be tested in the real deal, aka the real exam. It's like a guide, like a guideline where you can check all the topics and key information about this test. However, something that you have to keep in mind, you cannot only study from first aid, to be honest, because it has a lot of highlights and key points. But to be honest, if you have to dig in, you have to go deeper for this step, because if you just memorize random stuff from first aid, it doesn't make any sense. So you have to use first aid, as I said before, as a guide. Like, I'm reading first aid, or you're doing your flashcard, or whatever you're doing, like your study method, and you're reading first aid, let's say, and you can verbalize what they saying. Oh, I know this and this and that. You can create a connection between concept. If there is a concept that you don't have any idea, don't memorize. Look it up. Look for more information about this concept, because this is the magic of first aid. First aid has everything, but a lot of time doesn't give you a really deep concept. So you're gonna have a bunch of concepts that you might know, no, you don't have any idea what you're talking about, so you have to look it up. But first aid is awesome if you already have your foundation, you already have your basic, and you're gonna review, or you're in the middle of dedicated, everything. You have reviewed the entire material, and you need a guide for highlight all the topic that you have to review and keep it in mind and refresh. But for sure, there are a bunch of questions that came from first aid, so it's important to check it out. UWAR is a question bank that you have to do it. There is no way you get into this journey and you're studying for step 1, and a certain point of your preparation you don't have this saving before pay it, because UWAR is costly, but it's worth it. You have to do it. There is no way, because you get familiar with the type of question that you will get in the real deal. You get familiar how they made it. It's like how they make questions, how they create, or how they testing you for this test. It's like the way that you will help you to familiarize with the type of question that you will get in the real deal, and also the way that they ask is awesome, and the amount of information, it's a really huge learning tool. As I said, eWar is a learning tool. I know it's kind of difficult, because they give you a score, like, oh, you get 80%, you got 70, 40, 10%, but doesn't matter how much you're getting in every question bank, in every question block. UWAR is a a study tool. Keep in mind, because you will need it. Because you get a question wrong and you were, it doesn't mean you won't learn it and you're gonna fail it. No. You were is a learning tool that is a must. You have to do it. And it's, oh my God, 100 recommended. Anki is a space repetition app that is really helpful for memorizing stuff, especially like microbiology, pharmacology, and this kind of stuff. Um, it's like an active learning tool, and the only version that you have to pay is the one that is on your phone. So, beside this version, as I know, Anki website, computer version 2, it's free and it's a really powerful tool for memorize a lot of stuff. By the way, I made a video about Anki overload because in the beginning Anki is like you don't have that many cards. But to be honest, in the end of your prep, you're gonna have a bunch of cards. Like I was getting 700 Anki cards per day, which I was like, I have an overload. I have a lot of Anki cards per day. So I made a video about Anki overload based on my own experience because the struggle was real. I'm going to leave you the link in the description box below too because I know it's going to be helpful. A sketchy micro is awesome. I don't have more to say. It's like a sketchy micro is life saving. It's awesome. It was the only resources that I use for microbiology. Ambus is a question bank. If you have extra time and extra money, try that. It's a good learning tool and it has a library which is awesome. So I recommend Ambus. It's a good tool. BNB is a good tool, especially if you're struggle with first aid. So you watch the different videos and at the same time you're reading your first aid and annotate it. It's kind of a passive learning tool, to be honest. Pathoma is really important, especially the first 3 chapter, 1, 2, and 3. You have to read it, especially before a couple of days before the test. You're gonna get a couple of questions right after Pathoma in the real test. So I highly recommend you to read the 3 chapters in the week that you're gonna take it. 100% recommended. I made a video months ago about free resources for step 1. I'm gonna leave the link in the description box below. I highly recommend you to check it out after you finish this book. I mean, what I'm saying, this video, because it has a bunch of free materials. Yeah. As you notice, I have mentioned a bunch of materials, like a huge amount. So this is a common question. How many resources should I buy or do I need? And to be honest, there are a bunch of materials and all of them are really good, to be honest. So I don't recommend more than 3 materials at the same time because each material is huge. So you're gonna be overloaded if you study all this material at the same time. So I recommend a question bank, a book, and Anki or a video lecture. No more than 3 is what I recommended. For dedicated, 2 or 3, but no more than that at the same time because it's a huge amount of material, to be honest. So it's going to be impossible to study a bunch of books, watch a bunch of videos, and 200 questions per day. It's not possible. It's not possible.